Hello everyone. Well, in our world it's Tuesday, so it's time for our Tuesday tutorial. That's easy for me to say. And this week we're looking at that terrific Beatles song, Norwegian Wood. It was apparently, the American Billboard magazine ranked it at number 83 in their 500 list of the greatest songs of all time. So that's quite an endorsement, isn't it? An accolade. It was written in 1965 by mostly John Lennon, with some contributions from Paul McCartney, but it's got the hallmark of a John Lennon song about it. And it was never released as a single in the UK or the States. It was only ever on the album Rubber Soul. In fact, it was released as a single in Australia, and it got to number 1 over there. So it's a very well-known and well-loved song. The Beatles did it in the key of E major. So if that's what you fancy doing, good luck to you. I've put it into C, which is a tiny bit low for a singing key, but for a playing key on the ukulele, it works very well. But you really do benefit from having a low G ukulele if you can lay your hands on one, or change one of your many ukuleles to a low G.
But not a soprano.
But not a soprano. No, a soprano ukulele is the sound chamber isn't big enough to pick up those lower resonances. I wouldn't put a low G on anything smaller than a concert, but I have my tenor low G, which works okay for me. Right, where are we? Now it's actually a very, very simple piece of tunery, if such a word exists, in that there are it does now, in that there are only 2 melody lines. The verse is a single line of melody repeated, and the bridge is also a single line of melody repeated. So you've only got those 2 melody lines. And they're in essence very simple. So the introduction, for those of you who are still at the beginning of your journey to ukulele excellence, playing the chords might present challenge enough. So we'll look at the chords first, and the introduction is the same theme as the verse. It's the I once had a girl, or should I say she once had me, melody line. That's the intro. It's also the instrumental break, and it's also the outro, which we'll get to in due course. But it's mostly on a C chord. It's in the key, it's in the time signature of 3/4, so 3 beats to a bar. To be strictly accurate, it's in 6/8 time, but we'll do it in 3/4 just to make it a little easier to understand. So the introduction is 5 bars on a C chord. So there you go. And it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2. And so on. But you can be quiet as well. Sorry, that was my phone beeping at me. Yeah, you can play that C chord, but don't just play the strum. Well, say if you want to, just play the C chord on the first beat of the bar. That's fine if that's what you want to do. Just going 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. And if that's what you fancy doing, by all means go ahead and do it. If you fancy adding a little bit of interest to the rhythm that you're playing, then I suggest that it's down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, like that. And that is the basic feel of the rhythm of the song. I haven't got a sitar, unfortunately, otherwise I'd do the instrumental break on a sitar, but if you've got one hanging around, hung to the wall or something, you might want to get it down for this. But anyway, Okay, that C chord at the beginning, you can play it as a plain C, 0, 0, 0, 3, or you can play it as a C5 chord, which works quite well, which is 0, 0, 3, 3. Because you've got that G note ringing out in there, and the C5, it's called a power chord. We've been through this before, but it doesn't have the third note in the scale. A normal chord is the first, third and fifth notes in the scale, but a power chord is just the first and fifth notes in the scale, in this case C and G, repeated, C, G, C, G. Rock guitarists use that power chord quite a lot, but it works quite well here. So instead of playing and make it the power chord, you can hear the difference. So, okay, we've got 5 bars doing that of C, all very simple so far, and then we get to a B flat chord. Well, I know that some of you still struggle with a B flat chord, but it's one that you really do need to master, because the key of F is very, very well suited to the ukulele, to standard ukulele tuning. And if you're going to play in F, then you've got to have B flat. It helps here too, although we're in the key of C. And the best way to play B flat in the context of this song is to flatten your index finger just over the first 2 strings, the A and the E strings, and then your middle finger goes on the 2nd fret of the C string and your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the G string. Now, Pam plays her B flat as a 4 bar, which, okay, that is a difficulty for what happens next, because in this song, the introduction and in the verse, you have 2 beats out of 3 on the B flat chord, and then the 3rd beat of the bar, just 1 beat on an F chord before you revert to the C. Now, if you're playing your B flat with just a half bar, like so, it's easy to lift your index finger so it's only on the E string and drop your middle finger over onto the G string for an F, and then you're in pole position to get back to the C. But if you're playing that B flat like that, you've got another slightly more awkward hand movement. But experiment with it, see what works for you. But the whole of the introduction of the song, just on the chords, goes like this. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Okay, I'll do that penultimate bar, the B flat. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's enough to keep you thinking about it for a little while. Okay, now once you've got that under your belt, that's the same chord pattern for the verse. It just goes like this. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. So that B flat to F is she once had me. And it repeats for the second line of the verse. Okay, so you've got the chord structure there. Now, if any of you fancy doing anything a little bit more intricate, we can pick out that melody in the chord. So especially if we start on the C5. Now the melody itself goes why we need the low G. So to start that, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can play the G on the 3rd fret of the E string, and then you can play the A string open because you're going G, A, G, F, E. Okay, so we can play it like that. And the G, F, E is using your index finger on the first fret of the E string and then the E string open. So, like that. But if you want to make it a little bit more upbeat, you can do a hammer on and pull off on the 5th fret of the E string with your little finger. So you're hammering on that A note and then pulling off it back to the G. Now, hammer on and pull offs are tricky enough in normal circumstances, but when you're using your little finger, that they are quite difficult, and it's something that you really have to practice at and get the muscles that control your little finger toughened up a bit, so you can get a bit of volume out of that hammer on and pull off. But it works, and in the context of the song, what Paul and then what John Lennon is doing on the lead guitar, and then what George does on the sitar is exactly that. Yeah, like that. So that's the start of it. You can either play, and then the second half of that bit is you're going to go to the C string on the 2nd fret using your middle finger to the D note. Your index finger is already there, poised for the F note, and then the E note, which is the E string open, and then the C note, the C string open, and then we need the B flat note, which is the G string fretted at 3. We go back to the F note on the E string at 1, and then back to the B flat, so, and then the low G string open. So we end up with, I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. And you can do that while you're holding down the C note on the A string with your little finger, with your ring finger, sorry. So we get, now you notice that I didn't play the B flat and the F chords in there, but that was just to illustrate how the melody fits. You can do it as well, and that's why it helps to play the B flat like that. Because what you get then is, so we have the B flat and the F on the B flat chord, and then on the F chord we've got the sorry, I slightly misled myself there. When we play the B flat, it's not back to a B flat, back to an A, sorry. But that works, so just once more through again. That's the melody line, that's the verse repeats line, and it's also the instrumental break. So you can share it around your group, everybody play a little bit of an instrumental break. So that covers the introduction, the verse, the instrumental break, and the outro, which we'll show you how it finishes off. It just finishes, it cuts off quite sharply. So that leaves us with the bridge passage that she asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. And for that, the song goes into the key of C minor rather than C major. Your standard first position C minor chord works perfectly well here, which is 0, 3, 3, 3. Pam's playing it with those 3 fingers. I'm playing it with those 3 fingers, 2, 3 and 4, for a reason. But if you're not going to worry about putting a tune in or a harmony, then you can just stick on the C minor, and it stays on that C minor for as long as the C major does in the verse. It's she asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. So an F, back to the C minor. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a D minor chair to a G. And then you're back into the verse. So it's just C minor, F, C minor, D minor, G. Okay, that's fine as far as it goes. If you want to pick out the harmony or the melody on that C minor chord, you need your index finger, and you just plant your index finger on the 1st fret of the E string to give you an F note, so you can pick out that's the G note, fret 3 on the E string, which you're already fretting in the C minor chord. So then lift your ring finger, and there's the F note, and then your middle finger is already in position at fret 3 on the C string for the E flat note. Or if you prefer the lower harmony, you can do pretty much all of that on the C string. You're starting on the E flat note. She asked me to stay, and index finger on the 2nd fret of the C string, told me C string open, B flat, 3rd string, 3rd fret G string, and then again. All I did there was just on the G chord, I played a run up, which is the 3rd fret of the E string, then the A string open, and just take your middle finger off the G chord for that, and then you're back to a C. That is pretty much all there is to it, apart from the very ending. Yep. With the outro, which is, as we've said, exactly the same as the intro and the verse. So, and it just finishes sharp on a C. On the song sheet, I've shown it as 2 bars of a C, which is the ring time, if you like, but we only strike the 1st C chord and then let that hang. So we get this 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. And that's it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is Norwegian Wood. Very, very simple song, but one of those brilliant songs, one of those brilliant popular songs that achieves perfection by its very simplicity. Well, that's about it, yep. Isn't it? So I hope you very much enjoy. I know plenty of you have asked for the song sheet. So I hope you have fun with it. We'll put out a play-along version at the weekend, and we'll have another comic song for you on Friday, our Friday Fun and Frolics, and more of the same as we go on. Let's hope that this vaccine is going to be the game changer that everyone hopes it is. Well, that's all from us for today, isn't it? It is. Pam's been very quiet and well behaved. Makes a nice change. So that's it from us. It's our wedding anniversary today, by the way. 19 years and counting. Yeah. Train robbers didn't get that long, did they? But anyway, that's all from us. Hope you have a good day. Hope we have a good day, and we'll speak to you soon. So until we meet again, stay safe, be kind to yourselves, and be nice to each other. It's a hard, cruel world out there. Bye-bye for now.